Hey guys, boy oh boy. Hello, hey, if you guys are brand new, some guys are brand new to this place. My name is Rick Worth. I'm an artist by trade, and a designer, and a painter, and a sculptor, and a teacher, and all kinds of stuff. And lately I've been a miner of our Bible, mining it for gold, the truth, trying to find out what it was made out of. And of course, it's called the spirit of the text, which is what you find outside of the surface by looking just a little deeper, if you have the time. Listen, I've been at this since probably, 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that this morning. And what happens is we're in that place where, they've just had their first burnt offering. The ark has come to the high point, and now his children are going out they're dividing the land up amongst them. And generally, I just skip right over this crap, and not generally, I've never really done it before, but when you listen to, these are the sons of Noah, and you hear things like, the sons of Noah is Shem, Ham, and Japheth, plus all these words, all these names are so hard to see, or not just to see. I got them written big enough for me to read, but, and the sons of Japheth, they're just hard to say, let alone try to write them. But, you get the sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, Japan, Dumba, and Shira, sons of Gomer, Lada, it's like, that would be a 1, 2, 3, right? I think that's what that would be. I never wrote that down. But anyways, what I learned, which is pretty interesting, 1, 2, is that ready? Yes, 3. What I did was, I wrote all these names down. I said, I've got to find out what all these guys are. What could you possibly find in a list of the sons of things, But first off, you get this idea that they're all sons. So they've got to be talking about the mind, okay? They're not talking about the spirit or anything yet. They're talking about the mind, and this is the idea of brothers. All right, you have lots of brothers, and it's kind of interesting how this works. But you got to remember there's a 1, 2, 3 scale to be worked with, which means like an initiation of something. It would be like 1, 2, 3. So 1 is God, or the initiate. Sometimes it's just a prayer, but that's the initiate. And then 2 is the guy in duality. That's you and me. We're number 2. That's the body in duality. And so 3 is a combination of God and them put together. When we're all together is 1. 4 is the fourfold nature of man. It talks about years. It's about the months. It's about stuff like that. It's a timing mechanism, and it's about growth. Alright, so that's before 5. 5 is the skin, so anything that relates to the skin, which is, basically, that's been, it's bad, it's a sin, it's where all the bad comes from, it's the sin. Remember, that's the face of the earth, So, but as you get going, and then we have 6. 6 is works. When you made it all the way up, this is the chakra we're talking about. And then 7th is rest most of the time. This is also where you get fed. This is where wrath comes down, But this is also the way that we heal ourselves, by going up this way. But we also have to understand that this is about duality. We just learned this from Noah's Ark story, that we are divided. There's 2 of us in here. That's what that brother is most of the time. That's the one that we have to kill and chase around. So there's going to be this idea that, there's parts in here that show you the number 2 is probably going to wind up being something that has to do with, the skin, or, well, let's just see how it works. I'm going to give you a quick little rundown. It's chapter 10 in our Bibles, and what it does, it starts off with the sons of Noah. And what's interesting, this was a foreign text. Everything is going backwards. It's 3-2-1 and 7-6-5-4-3-2-1, but the way they wrote it, they didn't spin it around. Like I'm even going to start off only because of the way it's printed in the Bible. But I would tell you that the story started way back here somewhere. Look at all these pieces, pages I got. But the start is back here. How the land was divided. That's really should have been the title of the book, because of the way they read from right to left, and everything then winds up this way. So when you read it, if you read it, it winds up kind of backwards. But you can get the idea of what these people's names represent. And let me tell you, I've been at it all day long, So I found out what Gog and Magog is. All right, Gog and Magog. Gog is about a ceiling, like a roof. This would be like 6, right before the window opens up. And Gog is it's actually like a protection, but it's this idea that it would be that firmament of some kind that Magog disintegrates so that you can get through it. So it's really not a bad thing, this Gog, and neither is Sodom and Gomorrah. So you'll find, again, here I am switching the negatives into positives, but they don't have that kind of story to tell. All they say is so-and-so begot this one, and this one was this, and this, and this, and this led to that one, and then this led to that, which led to this, and then that happened because of this. Oh, and then it'll tell you, and then we had some guy run across here. But this is the coolest stuff. But I want to tell you, this is really neat. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right? If we did this right, these are the 3 divine aspects of man. All right? And that has to do with will, which is 3, by the way. If I read this right, it would be determination would be number 1, which is, that's your initial idea. 2 is Ham, and Ham is actions and works, and Shem is the will. So it's 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. 2 is Ham. This is where they get the black from. I've just discovered all this stuff. This is where the slave text comes from, because that's the black. Black has to serve. Black in our books, you're going to wind up learning that those 4-fold natures of men, that it's the black side is the west, white side is the east, west is man and mankind, and that's why it's black. It doesn't mean that the black has to serve white, so it's just a shame that even the black people are saying, I'm a ham. No, you're not a ham. You're just a human being. And you're just following the wrong path. And it's a shame, because this is what throws your mind off. You're all fucked up now. You're still looking for Ham. You're still looking for that lost tribe, But anyways, those are the 3 desires, and they have 2 different sides to them. It's a desire, works, and intelligence. And a lot of times, Shem would... that would be Japheth would wind up being the firstborn in this situation, and all kinds of good things are supposed to happen. But I will tell you this is how it works. Here's the sons. These are the sons of Japheth. Just let me say his name wrong, okay, please. The sons of Japheth. All right. And you wondered, see, this is how I figured out, because the sons of Japheth, they bring it from the back one. He's the 3rd one said, but he's the first one spoke about, so I understand this now. It has about, you would never really figure this out. This is cool, man. I'm a code breaker. I love it. But anyways, his sons are Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, blah, 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 and Tyra. So this is 7 of them. And let's see what they mean when I read them right. So his sons bring about desire, a drawing out. 3 is the earth, the world, and confusion, which is 3 to join together. 4 is the deceiver. The 4 is the world, the deceiver. 5 is judging the skin. This is 6. Becomes Magog is the roof collapsing, and Gomer is complete and finish. Alright, the sons of Gomer, there's only 3. Alright, so first is ash something, rip something, and garment something another. It's kind of neat. So garment is you, this is the skin 1. 2 is getting the cure. And 3, a fire that spreads. So, this is that idea of having to go under, a cleansing, getting burnt. All right, going through that final phase. But it goes on with the sun. So listen, this is the beloved. This becomes the fourfold. Now, what happens? This is the west, north, south, and east. This is how it works. Or east, south, north, and west. All right. This is the way our mind works out. This is when you have the number 4. East is the beloved. Kittim is the south. It has to do with bruising, so it's the physical side of us. Tarnish, contemplating, examination. This is the north. Contemplation is our emotions. And Elijah is the Lamb of God. That's the left side. That's you and I right now. We are on the intellectual side. We're talking, that makes us Westerners, okay? And we give helps. We are the Lamb of God. This to give helps too. So anyways, this is pretty neat so far. I hope you understand. I hope you're following this. So then we get the sons of Ham, which is Cush and Mizraim and something and Canaan. So there's another 4. These are representing kingdoms when they do these 4. So the west is blackness. Mizraim is tribulations, which is the north. That's the and and south is the end. This is your skin is put the end. That's what P-H-U-T put means, the end, like kaput, right? And Canaan, the name Canaan is about jealousy and possessions and stuff like that. And so that is the east. This is your mind on the lower side. It's black. There's tribulations. And there's always this threat of death. And this idea of, owning Canaan, going to the east, the side, owning your God. They're owning God. This girl's running around still acting pretty crazy, but she owns God. We can't own God. We give ourselves to this thing. But this is what we do on the outside. They all own it. That's mine, and you can't have it. Those people are different. This one's more. Oh, this is mine. This is mine. This is when they say, hey, what I gave you. God gave you something, and you took and you planted it in the earth and got nothing out of it. That means going to those fucking religious people. Taking this beautiful gift that he gave you, and you go and squander it in the earth. So anyways, this gives birth to the sons of Cush. The sons of Cush. So you get Seba, Havaya, Sabada, Faba, and something another. And you get Sheba, and you get Dedan. So if we were to do this right, we get fear. 2, our body is captured. 3, one is our desire, our affections to the lower, our friendship to the titty is what it is. It says their breasts, it's their breasts. It's a friendship with their breasts. So our problem is that we came down. It's the idea of the fallen angels, because we are living off the lower. So here it is. That's our problem. 1 is Dedan. 2, that's bringing us together. This is Sheba. It's got us in captivity now, because we have lowered ourselves, and she's our master, this monster. 3 is Sabakatik. This is that which surrounds us. That's 3. That's our skin. That's all of us that surrounds us. 4, Rama, something another. Greatness, thunder, evil. 4. That's the world we live in. Is greatness. There's thunder and evil in it. Thunder. This isn't all that good. 5 is Sabbath. S-A-B-T-A-H. Old age. going about. This is 5 is our skin. It's talking about, growing old, and and this is, we're taking this on as like our skin. And 6 is 6 Havala is suffering pain brings forth. 7, this is the 7th chakra for them, a drunkard that turns around. So, I think that's the 7th one. That's kind of interesting. That's just reading these names. Do you understand? So that's all you get. You're drunkard. You didn't have any help from God. You did it all yourself. That's not going to save you, I guess. I'm turning around. All right. So Cush begat Nimrod. Cush is blackness. This blackness births Nimrod. Nimrod winds up being the mighty one. He winds up, being he's the mighty hunter before the Lord, So he's to get even. Remember, that's what we all want to do. I think that's what they mean by even, when you balance your cross between this left and right side. You want every now and then to get even, and that's what we do when we go into meditation, is we get even. All right? It's like dying. Getting planking, I guess they do it nowadays, But anyways, it says in the beginning of this kingdom, there's there's a boundary for this. All right, that's why we say at the end, it's going to tell you that this is how they are set up. But this is one side, and it says, and this is the beginning of this kingdom. It starts off with Babel and Uruk and something. Oh, I didn't I did. I put them on here. And such that there's 4. So it's going to be the kingdom. Kingdom is the roundest of 4. So we get in the west, which is where we are outside. This is the left. Is our it's the west. You get confusion and mixture. That's what Babel means. You get Uruk, which is to belong. To belong. It says, when you look this word up, E-R-E-C-H, it says to be and along. So it's really to belong. So, and this is the north. This is our emotions. And, we want to belong. I want to belong with something. And then you get Alad, which is a vessel. That's the south. That's the physical part of us. This is really working out pretty interesting. And there's the name called Calvine or something, and it's the joining together. East. It's your east. Your spiritualism is consumption, and joined together. It's a lower nature. So that is what you get from the sons of Ham. All right, and out of the land went forth Azure, the builder of Nabah, and the city of Nabah, and Kala. All right. Now this is interesting. And they went forth, Asher. This is liars in wait for beholders, and they are the builders of Niveth, which is the ego, and the city, which are the fields, the lower conscious, the broad spaces, is what they're talking about. Rehoboth, are about fields, places, and Kala is a growth, a place for growth. So this is talking about the lower mind being a place where liars in want and beholders abound, who build the ego, this handsome and being agreeable, and the city, Rehoboth, spaces, and a favorable place for growth. And then it goes on like this. And risen is a city. Risen is a bridle or a bit between Niva and Kala, which is your ego, and Kala is opportunity, growth, favorability. All right, what's going to be between these two great cities is risen, a bridle or a bit. So what it's going to take is, this is Mizraim, Mizraim begets, and Mizraim is about tribulations. So tribulations beget Ludum, Edom, Labam, and Nephilim. This is again another kingdom. And what you get is Ludum, which is joining the west. That's your lower mind. Joining a fountain, affection, joining with affection, the north. And the south, which is the flames. This is going to be the sacrifice. This is the skin, Lephim. And Nalathum is a meaning of to open. This is the Patha. This is the east. This is what you want to do. You want this. You want this four to line up so that you can open this up. And patriotism, the West, call it hopes. So it's a mouthful. They say pathetherium means a mouthful of dough. All right, so that's the West. That's your mouth is full of dough. You're getting ready to go up. This is you under meditation, and you got a mouthful of dough, which is the manna from heaven or something. You're ready to be cooked. You got to go up there and get cooked first, but you're going up there with a mouthful of dough. All right, so Colosseum or something like that is hopes of life. So that's the hopes that's coming from the north. The body green, the Philistine, that's what it is. The south, that's the being, the person itself. They put Philistine in there. It's hard to find what that means, so you have to think that has to be the person. So south is your physical self, and that's one of the only ones I had to reach for. And Capitorium, which is the east, and what this means is it's a personal prayer. Capitorium means a personal prayer. So what this sets up is it sets you up with a mouthful of dough with a lot of hopes, and your body's ready to go, and you've got this personal desire. Canaan begot Sidon, the firstborn. He's the hunter and fisherman. Okay, Heath, Jebusite, Amorite, Giggazite, Hivite, Archite, Sinite. All right, I don't know who these guys are, but they open up to about 7. So we're going to open up to what do you get from this, from the Canaanites, from this Sidon, from this Sidon. You get 1 is poison, 2 you gnaw at the teeth, and 3 you get reco. You get 3 when you mix together is wicked and wickedness. 4 Gerasite, black mud. Amorite is bitter and rebel, a babbler. 6 is treading underfoot, ready to be scorned, to destroy. And 7 is trembling and fear. So this is what you get. And God, you're scared now of God. You're afraid of God. God's supposed to be of love. And so, hey, this is the way it's working out. And then you get, there's another 3 here, and I didn't want it. Arvite, Zimthite, and Hapatite. This is your 3. So it would go from, it would be anger, which is Hamatite, a Zimmerite, which means that you've had your core cut out, and Aphrodite, that's actually having your core removed. It's pretty interesting. That's number 2. That's you and something else taking it away. And 3 is exile and wanderer. That's what Arvarite means. Hey, if this isn't opening your eyes, I'm not so sure. I'm not going to let one of these go again without, but I mean, I'm telling you, 8 or 9 hours, and am I almost done yet? I got 1 more page. Hope you guys are watching or taking on this. It's the coolest shit. And afterwards, spread abroad. That's what went out. That's what happens with those things. So the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as one comes to Gerar and on to Gaza. So that there goest unto Sodom, and to Gomorrah, and into Admah, and to Zeboim, the way from Lasha. Excuse me. Now to read that correctly, Lasha is to call, to anoint. 2 is to die, to change. 3, Adma, is the earth is bloody. Earth and bloody. 4, Gomorrah is to go deep. Copious waters. 4, this is the earth. This is what we just heard. They're using water to purge things. So this is that idea of truth coming in. 5 is our skin. Let's see what it says. Unto Sodom, skin. Their secret. There's a fasten. This is where you have brought yourself to this fasten, to this place, and you don't want it. 5, 6, Gaza. This goes to Gaza. A strong goat. 6, it's made it all the way up. Goat is the Capricorn, actually, starting it after the Jesus is born. That's Capricorn that climbs. It's the goat, it's the beetle that brings the shit up the hill. So Gaza is a strong goat. 6, you've made it up there, and 7 is Gira, Igar, and this is the pilgrimage, the combat, the dispute. So you've gone up, and you're making your complaint to God. I've had enough of this, and so you will see that. Is that the direction that I'm doing this in? I hope I didn't mess any of this other stuff up. Yeah, so that's the direction it goes in. And then it says, and after this, the country, and this was to them and their countries in different places. So you'll see that these are the nations on earth. These are the kingdoms being built. And these are things that need to be destroyed. This is where the trouble is these are all representing things about us, our minds. This is amazing. This is amazing. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. Anyways, we only